Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. I spotted a news article earlier tonight, guys, from GB News over on their X account, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention and have a quick chat with you about it. They had a counter-terrorism expert on one of their shows tonight. I think it was Patrick Christie's, and he was suggesting that we have thousands of Rudy Gabana type people roaming the streets here in the UK at the moment. I mean, yeah, shock horror. Who on earth could have seen that coming? Now, the figure he gives is rather a conservative estimate, to say the least, but we'll get into that momentarily. It reads in this article, guys. A counter-terrorism expert has warned that nearly 2,500 people similar to triple murderer Axel Rudy Gabana could be at large in Britain. Now, if he thinks that figure is in any way accurate, he must be living in cloud cuckoo land somewhere. Although, to give him his due, he does go into detail as to how we actually came up with this figure. It's all to do with the Prevent programme. You know, that programme instilled by the government that laughably is supposed to stop terrorist attacks, the loss of innocent lives, including children, failed across the board catastrophically. But I want to delve a little bit deeper into this, guys, look at it a little bit more subjectively. Way back in 1997, you know where I'm going with this, obviously, when Tony Blair took office. Do we say took office in this country? Well, I think I've been Americanised over the last few weeks because of the Donald Trump election. When Tony Blair got his ass into number 10, yeah, that's the English way, that's better. When Tony Blair got his ass into number 10 back in 1997, and he flung open the floodgates to hundreds and thousands of people to rub the right nose in diversity, as one of his advisors is quoted in saying quite famously, you are bound, it is inevitable that you are going to get bad eggs and bad apples within these people. I don't want to delve too deeply into the illegal migration part of this, guys, but I do think it deserves a mention. I've done countless videos on my channel regarding illegal migration. You know my thoughts on it, you know how I think this should be dealt with, and you know how I think the people who break into our country should be dealt with. So I don't want to go over too much old rope, but yeah, I do think it's worth a mention. Now, illegal migration into this country has been happening for many, many years, even pre-1997 and pre-Tony Blair. Not to the extent it does now, obviously. We probably had a couple of thousand per year breaking in instead of into the hundreds of thousands it's into now. But like I say, you don't know who these people are, you don't know where they come from, you don't know their intentions, so you are just asking for trouble, and it's inevitable that people such as Rudy Gabana, even though he was born here, you're going to get carnage on a mass scale. You're going to get people being maimed and killed simply through hatred and warped ideologies, that kind of a thing. But like I say, I don't want to delve too deeply into the illegal migration part of this video, guys. What I want to really talk to you about is the legal migration part. Now, as you all know, guys, legal migration involves checks, rigorous checks even. You need to know who you are, where you come from, your criminal background, that kind of a thing, to get a study visa or a work visa or a refugee visa or whatever the hell you call them. You can do all the background checks you like on these people. It leads you into a false sense of security. They have them on a database, they know where they live, they know where they come from, and all that palaver. Yes, I agree. Some of them do come here and study. Some of them do come here and get full-time jobs, even though they bring the mum, the dad, the nannies, the granddads, the aunties, uncles, nieces and nephews with them, because we all know that students, once they've finished studying and doing their exams, they need to be tucked in by the mum with their teddy bear and hot water bottle, you know, trying to spread your wings and get a bit of independence from your parents. I'm obviously being sarcastic there. You can do all the checks you want, but you don't know what's going on inside their heads. They could be coming here pre-radicalised. They could be coming here with hatred in their heads for the people within this country and the country as a whole, and they can be dormant for 5, 10, 15 years. I've talked about this before on a couple of videos in the past. They are called sleeper cells. They come here with good intentions initially, get themselves into a job, graduate from university with a degree possibly, then lay dormant 5, 10, 15 years, like I say. Then all of a sudden, pop, carnage on a mass scale, murder, attacks, brutalization on the streets. You simply don't know what's going on inside these people's heads. I myself, or you even, we could go to Germany, we could go to Norway or the United States or New Zealand, for example. I've not been in trouble with the law since my late teens, drunken fights, that kind of a thing, silliness. I've not had any dealings with the police for at least 30 years. I could go to another country and suddenly go on a murderous rampage, even though I've got no criminal past, because you don't know what's going on inside my head. If you let people stay inside your house, you just drag them in off the streets. Say, yeah, come in, you can spend the night, drink some tea and all this other stuff, make yourself at home. One of them people are either going to rob your house or they're going to do something unspeakable to you. You can't take the risk. That's why we have locks on doors. That's why we have borders. It needs to be controlled. You can't just let thousands upon thousands, millions of people into the country and expect everybody to live in ultimate peace and harmony. It's unrealistic, it's unworkable, and we will pay the price. We are paying the price, but much worse down the line, because I can't see this stopping anytime soon. Nigel Farage notwithstanding, doesn't matter. It's going to be very difficult to come back from. Speaking on GB News, Philip Ingram highlighted concerning statistics about referrals to the government's Prevent programme. According to Ingram, up to March 2024, there were 6,922 referrals to the Prevent programme. He highlighted that Rudy Cabana fell into the vulnerability present but no ideology. Even though he was arrested and caught with terrorism literature, no ideology, like I said earlier, failed catastrophically across the board. Particularly failed those 3 young girls, which represented the largest proportion of referrals. His comments came hours after Rudy Cabana was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 52 years. Now this surprised me, really surprised me. That's a good chunk of a prison sentence. It's nowhere good enough for me personally. I wanted him to die in prison, or well, better yet, kick him out of the country, like I said in my earlier video. But 52 years is a good step in the right direction. That's a hefty sentence. I was expecting 20, 25 years, something soft like that, but 52 years, fair play, it's okay. It's not ideal, of course it's not ideal, but it's okay. It doesn't fit the crime, obviously, but yeah, it's better than I expected. For murdering 3 young girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in Southport, that means there could be another 2,489 individuals like him out there because nobody else will have picked those individuals up, Ingram said. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on this either, because I've mentioned this in the past video as well, guys, this Prevent programme. I personally think it should be dismantled. It's very expensive, it's ineffective, it's a massive failure, it doesn't prevent anything, and it's incorporated into social media posting, things like that, and yeah, just a complete and utter waste of time, money, paperwork and manpower. What I personally think we should do is revert back to what we used to do. The exchange of information with various intelligence agencies all the way around the world, MI5, MI6, exchanging information with Mossad, for example, over in Israel, or the Middle East intelligence services, Germany, the whole of Europe, United States, and Australia, and we just all exchange information. If a no good piece of shit is spotted in, say, I don't know, Israel, for example, and they know he's making his way over to the UK, they exchange information, they shoot it over, so we know who this guy is. We've got photo fits, we've got all this other stuff, fingerprints and possibly blood samples, DNA samples, things like that. The exchange of information is huge, it's massive, it's worked for many, many years. Second World War, First World War, wasn't the Americans, our intelligence services were second to none during those times, and I think it can be like that again. Programs like Prevent are absolutely useless, probably run by civil servants. I mean, you know, we all know what they are with their purple hair and their woke ideologies. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've been going on far too long here, and yeah, let me know what you think about this, guys. Do you think we should scrap the Prevent program, for example? Do you think it's inevitable that we are going to get carnage on a mass scale from some of these people that we are letting in, millions upon millions of people, adding to the ever-growing population of our tiny little island? Now, I do have a very rare weekend free this weekend, guys, so I'm going to do some stuff with the kids and the missus, get ourselves out, which we very rarely manage to do. So you won't be hearing from me probably till Monday or Tuesday next week. I also want to say, if I've got any subscribers in Ireland, do stay safe tonight. I do know there's a big storm heading your way, 80-90 mile an hour winds, so do be careful when you're driving and knocking about, and particularly people on the east coast of the UK as well. So yeah, that's you lot, guys. Thanks a lot for watching as always. Let me know what you think in comments, and I'll see you early next week. Cheers.